Virgin Voyages has been dominating social media with its no kids, no buffets, and it is sparking a lot of curiosity. So it was no surprise when my girls reached out and asked me to host them for our next girls getaway. Just to give you some background, these ladies have only cruised once before, and that is with Royal Caribbean and Carnival Cruise. And their experience was so bad, they swore they would never go back. They are more of an all-inclusive resort travelers. They want luxury, they want it easy, and as picky eating pescatarians, they need food that actually tastes good. I've sailed Virgin a few times now, so I know the resort feel would be there, but could this ship actually win over a group of skeptics who do not enjoy cruising? In this video, I'm breaking down the food, the cabins, and the overall experience with costs through the eyes of two resort-only travelers. By the end of this review, you'll know exactly if Virgin Voyages is your next trip destination or if you're better off staying on land. If you're new here, welcome. I am Dolly with the Traveling Talls, and I provide cruise reviews and tips to help you cruise smarter and not harder. For this trip, we decided on a quick getaway aboard the Valiant Lady, sailing right out of Miami. This 4-night itinerary included a sea day, Key West, and Bimini Beach, which is Virgin Voyages' private island. Now, it is perfect for busy professionals, couples, or anyone who just needs a quick escape without committing to a whole week. Now, as far as the cost, we paid a total of $2,853 for the trip. Now, this breaks down to about $951 per person. This includes taxes and fees, travel insurance, even gratuities. Before we even set foot on the ship, I sent the ladies a packing list specific to Virgin Voyages. Now, this included 4 essentials. One is something red. Virgin's signature event is Scarlet Night, and you'll want a red outfit or wear something red to join in on the ship-wide celebration. 2 is athletic wear. These ladies were into working out and staying active, and since fitness classes are actually included in your cruise fare, bringing a workout gear was a must. And 3 was a reusable tumbler. Virgin provides still and sparkling water in every cabin, and having your own tumbler makes it so much easier to stay hydrated while you're lounging at the pool or walking around the ship. And number 4 is an open mind. This is the most important thing to pack. Virgin Voyages prides itself on a come as you are philosophy. It is inclusive, it's vibrant, and it's definitely not your ordinary cruise line. The embarkation day process at Terminal V in Miami was smooth. Unlike the chaotic crowds you might find at other terminals, Virgin Voyages set sail later, so there were no other crowds or traffic to go through. We showed up at our pre-selected check-in time, showed our documentation, and moved through the lines quickly. We received our bands, which is a nautical inspired bracelet instead of a plastic key card. I explained to the girls that this bracelet is their everything. It's their cabin key, their boarding pass, and their wallet for any onboard purchases. I have to be honest, even though the process was a breeze, I could still see a bit of reluctance on their faces. So it's understandable when you've had a bad cruise experience in the past, it's hard to let that go. The second we stepped onto the ship, we were greeted by the happening cast. This is Virgin's version of an entertainment team. But what actually caught the girls off guard wasn't the music or the decor, it was the calm. If you cruised before, you know that boarding day is usually chaos. People are scrambling for the buffet, they're scrambling for the elevators, but on the Valiant Lady, it was the exact opposite. The ladies kept mentioning how impressed they were by how everything felt chill. For a group that usually prefers a resort, this was a massive win, and I knew right then we were off to a great start. We made our way to the cabin, which was a sea terrace limited view. These cabins are typically between 185 to 225 square feet and are designed to accommodate up to 4 people. Now, when you're traveling with your girls, sleep arrangements is very important. Because there are 3 of us, we needed the beds to be reconfigured into 3 separate twin size beds so that everyone has their own space. When we first walked in, the beds weren't configured yet. The girls immediately thought we were in the wrong cabin or that we'd be sharing beds all week. And for these ladies, that would have been a deal breaker. I assured them that once we met our cabin steward, he would get everything configured exactly to our liking. That definitely settled their nerves, but this is a good reminder that if you're new to cruising, the room layout could be a little confusing at first. By the time Sail Away Party rolled around, we were all hyped. There was something about the free champagne toast, the DJ playing the perfect type of music. It just shifted the mood completely. Now, it also happened to be one of the ladies' birthdays, so I used the sail away as a distraction to sneak back to the cabin and set up just for a little small decorations. But when I got there, I noticed our luggage was delivered and we were missing one. Just as I was wondering what happened, the cabin steward appeared at the door and he delivered a news that all cruisers dread, that one of us had to appear to the security room because one of the luggage had a prohibited item. I was in total disbelief. I sent everyone a packing list, so I knew there had to be a misunderstanding. When I got down to security, I had to open the luggage and we did find a steamer. Now, steamers and irons are considered a fire hazard on the ships and they are strictly prohibited. The security team, they held on to the steamer for the duration of the cruise and they said that they will give it back once we disembark. The good news, the steward told me that they actually have a limited number of steamers that we can borrow only for a limited time. So we were able to take advantage and steam all of our outfits. Also, I was able to finish the birthday decorations without the birthday girl knowing how long I was gone. The first night dinner was at Gambay. You are seated in a circular table with a grill in the center and the seats are shared. So meaning you're going to be dining with other sailors. And I always book this on night one because this is a great icebreaker. It's a Korean barbecue where they cook right in front of you and it includes drinking games that makes it easy to meet people. We actually met an amazing group there where we hung out for the rest of the trip. The cooks check for allergy and preferences before they start. So for the ladies, they cook the food in a specific order. They started with the veggies and the seafood first, and just to make sure that there wasn't any cross mixing with any meat. By the time we walked out of Gambay, the ladies were starting to see why I love this cruise line so much. To wrap up an incredible first day, we headed to the PJ party. Now, this is Virgin Voyages staple where the dress code is sleepwear. The party was held outside on the Aquatic Club deck, which is deck 16, which was the perfect setting. One of the things the ladies enjoyed the most was the people watching. On Virgin, people really lean into the themes. We saw everything from silky high-end lounge sets, hilarious onesies and matching group sets, and full on glam PJs with feathers and matching slippers. Day 2 started out early. Since the girls were big on fitness, we had to take advantage of the included classes. And we headed to the Red Room for our 90s dance VHS class. It's a first come, first serve, so you want to get there a few minutes early to grab a spot. In true Virgin fashion, we wanted to look the part, so we got our matching athletic outfits and we were expecting a fun, lighthearted cruise workout, and boy, were we wrong. This wasn't just a fun little workout. This got intense, and we were surprised by the difficulty level. Luckily, since the ladies were used to working out at home, they handled it like a pro. After the workout, we spent the morning exploring. We caught a bit of the line dancing class and did some window shopping to kill time before our brunch reservations at Razzle Dazzle. Now, Razzle Dazzle was probably one of the most talked about restaurants on the ship. It is known for its menu that is plant forward, offering a modern twist on comfort food with a variety of vegetarian and vegan alternatives. Now, since the ladies were pescatarians, I had high hopes. I figured that if any place could cater to picky eaters who don't eat meat, this was it. As a foodie myself, I thought the dishes were great, the presentation was beautiful, and the flavors were definitely unique. But for the ladies, this one, they were a little bit more reserved. They thought the food was just okay. partly because of the experimenting with flavors. We spent the rest of the afternoon exactly where we wanted to be, and that was the aquatic club. We spent hours lounging at the pool and the warm tubs. Once Scarlet Night began, we got into our red outfits and headed to our dinner reservation at Extra Virgin. This is the ship's authentic Italian restaurant. Now, I have to be honest, this was actually our least favorite experience of the trip. Now, even though I've sailed Virgin before and never had an issue, we were convinced the servers forgot about us. We noticed other groups who sat down after us already received their entrees while we were still waiting. Thankfully, the staff realized the mistake before we even had to say anything. They acknowledged the delay and quickly corrected the situation, getting our food out and making sure that we were taken care of. Now, because of the delay, we did miss out on a show that we were hoping to catch after dinner. Despite the slow start, the food was still a hit for the pescatarians. Everyone left full, which was good because we needed that energy for the Scarlet Night party. Once Scarlet Night began, the ship was completely transformed in red lights and decor. We started the night on the pool deck for the main celebration, and between the music, the pop-up performances, and the giant inflatable octopus, it felt less like a cruise ship and more like a high-end festival. Eventually, we followed the crowd to the after party in the Manor for hip hop night. On day 3, we ported at Key West, but we decided to skip the port and do a full spa day instead. We booked this on the second we got on board, which is highly recommended to book pre-cruise for better deals. It was about $269 for a 75-minute deep tissue massage, but it was worth every penny. The beds were made of warm quartz sand that molds to your body while you're getting worked on, and the girls absolutely loved it. We spent the rest of the day just lounging by the pool. That night, we had reservations at the Pink Agave. Now, since it was a late slot, the theme shifted to Pink Agave at night. So this included a DJ and free round of shots for the whole restaurant. The girls really enjoyed the appetizers the most, but because it was so late, the kitchen closed before we could even order an extra round. So if you reserve a late night slot at the Pink Agave, make sure you get your full order in early. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I want that resort vibe and I have no idea where to start, I got you. Whether it's your very first cruise or you just need help navigating the new package pricing and restaurant bookings, I'd love to help you cruise smarter. Click the link below in the description to visit my website. You can reach out to me from there and I'll be happy to assist you in booking your perfect Virgin voyage. Day 4 was all about Bimini Beach Club, which is Virgin's private beach club in the Bahamas. Once we disembarked, we hopped on the tram that transported us to the beach club. The first tram stop was an area where you can rent golf carts or browse the local markets. This is a great way to see more of the island if you want to venture off outside of the club. When we arrived at the beach club, it took a minute for us to find a place to settle. I recommend getting to the beach club as early as possible because grabbing a good set of loungers was a challenge for us. The club also featured an outdoor restaurant, and we decided to literally try everything on the menu. So there was some hits and miss, but overall it was still good. We spent the rest of the day in the lagoon style pool. It was heated, which I was thankful for. It was the perfect place to lounge and catch up with some of the sailors we've met on the ship. There were also some performances. They had floaties, they had volleyball, so there was something to do the entire time. As we headed back to the ship for our final night, I needed to get the ladies' thought. I wanted to know if this experience actually changed their minds about cruising. The key words that they kept using was refreshed. They felt that 4 nights was the perfect amount of time for a quick getaway. It was long enough to disconnect and short enough to where they didn't feel trapped at sea. If you asked them today what their overall impressions were, they would tell you it definitely gave that high-end, all-inclusive resort style they love just on a ship. Now, the big question is, would they do it again? And the answer was Absolutely. As for a group of picky eaters, pescatarians that swear they would never cruise again, this is a major win. Virgin Voyages didn't just give us a vacation, it gave the girls a whole new perspective on what cruising can actually feel like. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and comment down below what is your experience on the Virgin Voyages, and I'll see you soon. Happy sailing.